Surprise!
It's not a surprise.
It was scheduled, right?
It was.
Surprise would be if it was launched.
Look at where I am sitting at the table.
That's the surprise.
Surprise! I'm slightly more important today.
So the second surprise is, no, you're not.
Surprising.
Okay, hi folks, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
Today we're doing our top 10 surprises of 2018. So let's give you a couple caveats before we start. First of all, we realize 2018 is not over yet. Lists may have changed. In fact, my list changed from when I originally made it till now.
Are you kidding?
Huh.
You could have changed it.
No,
I mean,
you
in the
did.
last week, it
And
changed.
you changed it.
did.
You
I did.
change it. Okay, yes.
I did. But it could change again, as time goes by.
It
Who
won't
knows?
change during this hour video.
Like, you mentioned it, I'll be like, hang on.
We can promise you that much.
But also, these are also positive surprises.
Yeah.
For me, I picked...
I had to ask. I did ask.
I just used the word surprise for positive and disappointment for negative.
How about a surprisingly disappointing game? Oh, there's some.
That's
It's coming.
That's a different top 10 list. We also decided not to put games on that were on our top 10.
That's right.
For me, I ordered my list by how big the surprise was, not by how much I liked the game. I could have done one or the other.
I don't know. It's kind of a mix, I guess. I think it is ultimately by how much I liked the game, I think, but also coupled with how little was I expecting going in. Sure, that informed where it ended up on the list.
Okay, well, my number one was my biggest surprise. Anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
I don't think there's
10 through 5?
No.
You haven't done that in a while. It's disappointing.
Yeah, I know. It's
Surprise! He did do it.
I don't think that there is any real order to how much I enjoy the game. It's just these are 10 games that I was really surprised. I didn't expect to like it, or I was apprehensive on the onset. I didn't really know much about the game at all or anything like that, and it just kind of was plopped in front of me, and oh, hey, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, none of mine were games that I didn't expect to like but did. That doesn't happen much these days. It happens occasionally. But they were all games I liked way more than I thought I would.
You mean a game you expected to dislike?
Yeah, I don't have any of those on my list.
I have one that I was definitely indifferent about.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a couple of games like that I expected this isn't gonna be for me, and I was like, whoa, really enjoyed this.
Ooh, I have some ideas now what they might be.
Yeah.
Ah.
Snapple.
Well, let's go. Number 10. All right, my number 10. Is that the right way?
Surprise.
My number 10, I played at Essen for the first time, and I think I played it almost 10 times since then. Is a game that I thought the name was dorky, and yet the game turned out to be really fun, and that's Raccoon Tycoon. This is from Forbidden Games, and I don't know, it just sounded dumb.
It does.
It was like a trading game, and I was like, oh, a stock market game, okay.
But like a silly one, you expect it to be a silly one. Is
No,
it
it's not silly. It's actually like Victorian raccoons. They're like,
That's even worse somehow.
It works so well, though. It's a fast little stock market game that you get a really quick turn. It's turn. You just go around. You're moving up the stocks, selling them, getting money. Auctions. I'm not a big fan of auction games for the most part. This one, it works really well. Every time I play this, I have a lot of fun. So
I just think it's funny that you kind of alluded that Victorian raccoons isn't silly.
Victorian raccoons is serious business.
Oh my goodness, it's so
Modern raccoons have really given Victorian raccoons a bad name.
Victorian trash pandas.
Victorian trash pandas.
Got it.
Just saying, they used to be
not silly at all.
Top of the food chain during Victorian times, but turn of the century, they really started to go downhill.
They really are the best animal in the game. They're better than the bears, better than there's a top dog in the game, a fat cat. But Raccoon Tycoon,
that's where it's at.
That's what happens when you. That's what happens when you can.
Came a little bit before our own
money.
All right, my number 10 is a game I definitely was not expecting to enjoy, and in fact, the first time I played, I didn't enjoy, but it got better after that. And this is Magic the Gathering: Heroes of Dominaria.
Oh, I thought you were starting with Magic the Gathering. I was like,
No, I
You
mean,
didn't hear
Heroes
about
of
the
Dominaria.
2018 part, right?
Yeah. Heroes of Dominaria. Again, being a Magic the Gathering game, I expect this is going to be some mass market, cash in, lame, sort of phoned in design. I figured it wasn't going to be particularly good. They've done those sorts of games in the past. Oh, this is a card game, but it's D&D themed, and it's just some, small card game. They've done that kind of thing in the past. This was surprisingly solid. It's a quick game. It's a simple game. There's no denying that. But it's a solid design as well. It's got some interesting resource management. It's got some cool movement on the board. Some, pseudo fighting going on in there. It was neat. And yeah, the first time, the game is actually quicker than you expect. So that first game, I was like, you can't do anything in this game. The game's over before you accomplish anything. But then we played a couple more times, and that was simply an illusion at first. It's solid stuff. So yeah, my number 10, I was very surprised by Magic the Gathering: Heroes of Dominaria.
I actually considered this one too.
I figured it would
For
be
a
on your
slight
list.
different reason. I thought WizKids would just mess it up. And when we saw the original one back in March at the Gamma Trade Show, and they came and set it up, and I was like, that doesn't look good at all. Do you remember that? They put the board out, and I was like, this does not look like a good game at all.
Oh, that was a prototype, though, wasn't it?
I know,
Yeah.
but they were showing it, so I figured they'd want to show something nice, right? I don't know. But I was glad to see it was better than I thought.
Yeah.
All right, my turn. My number 10 is a game that has zombies in it. And it's a game that also is
there
a
a Z
game
in
that
it?
has been, because the word zombies.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Anyway, stay in school, kids. Sorry.
Well, I guess it didn't have to have zombies in the title, but
Right, yeah, I know. But it does. Axis and Allies and Zombies.
Whoa,
this
what?
is my number
Huh.
10.
Ooh,
Surprise. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Because, it's Axis and Allies. I thought I was well past this. I thought that I would not be drawn into it. If you come and ask me, do you
What
want to
part
play
surprised you? Is it an Accident Allies
the fact that I
with
liked it.
zombies? Oh, the fact that
The
you
fact
liked
that
it.
I
Okay.
liked it. Yeah, that's what this list is. If you come to me and say, you want to play some Axis and Allies, I'm like, 4 or 5 hours? Probably not. Even though
We do not hit people who ask us questions.
No, I don't.
depends on the question.
No, never. I probably wouldn't be interested in playing that long of a game because I've played it before. I know what there is, and I'm just not that much into it anymore. But I wanted to give this one a try because I wanted to see whether or not the zombie part was just total gimmick or if they actually integrated it into the gameplay well and all that kind of stuff. And they did. They actually integrated it well. It's not just, it is Axis and Allies with zombies thrown into it.
Okay.
But it's a neat mechanical push together. It's not just, there's zombies running around. No, you really do have to make sure that you're not really economizing, I guess you could say, the zombies, although you do, because sometimes you're going to want to not kill an infantry.
Here's my question, though. If Germany and America are fighting and a zombie uprising happens, wouldn't the war kind of end and we worry about the zombies at that point?
Not necessarily.
Normally speaking, with level-headed people, yes, but remember, Hitler was in control of Germany at that point, so level heads were
I can see
not
the war
prevailing.
continuing and both sides attempting to weaponize the zombies.
That's
Which
true.
Is that what you do in the game?
part of that is, yes.
Spoilers!
You can actually use your transports to transport zombies from one area and put them into your opponent's area.
I
So
want
that
to see this movie.
it's actually a gimmick, yeah, but it's a good one. So it was my surprise. Number 10, Axis and Allies and Zombies.
And next year, Axis and Allies and Vikings.
Viking zombies.
Number 1.
What if they made a Viking zombie game?
Number 1.
They did. It's called Skyrim.
All right. My number 9.
We're at the mercy of the editor.
My number 9 is a game that's a surprise just because I hadn't heard of it at all. So when it came out, it just kind of was like, oh, this sounds cool. And then I played it and I really liked it. And that's Smartphone Inc.
Yeah. You like that.
I don't think I heard about this at all until like right before Essen. Went into Essen, saw it, said that kind of looks cool. Then I played it and I was surprised because then it was like, oh, it's an economic game. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like a 3-hour economic game. It's like an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour, and it feels deep. You have these 2 boards that you are crisscrossing to take actions, and then you take all the actions, and everyone plays simultaneously throughout each round. You sell your phones. Selling them cheaper lets you sell them first, but you get less money. It's great. Very little luck in this game other than the tiles showing up, I guess, like the same level of luck that's in Puerto Rico. This is a really solid game, and I like the theme a lot. This guy's been made a lot of fun of. People say like the first hipster starring, game, but whatever. I mean, who cares? That looks cool, that cover to me. I'm getting tired of people trashing on stuff that's not in the norm.
Let's say, though, that the background was, I don't know, Victorian era, medieval times. You have trashed board games that have covers like that with a medieval theme.
No, the medieval guy is always looking at me like this.
Well, maybe he's looking at you through his iPad's camera.
He's watching a Dice Tower Top 10 on the cover there.
I think it's no, but I mean, you could say that about any cover. If you change this and you tilted his head and then you also recolored everything,
but I mean,
it would be like the ones you hate. Well, of course.
Basically the same thing, though.
I think it's different. At least it's
that's
different.
Cool. That's cool. I like it. I like the theme.
It's different. You know what I mean? It isn't another castle in the background and he's holding a scepter.
Replace castle with skyscrapers.
No kidding!
And replace scepter with iPad.
Sure,
done.
But I mean, again, that takes replacements.
My number 9.
I'm going to do that for every video here and turn it into
Smartphone Inc.
They're all going to be trading them as uranium from now on. All right, my number 9 is a very small little card game called Illusion. And Illusion is...
An illusion.
Not there. Bam! Yes, that's right.
It was there. I saw it.
Yes, that's the right one, yes. Illusion is kind of like that history-based timeline game, thank you.
Or card line.
Or card line, yeah, in which you are, organizing things in that game and timeline based on the date in which they happen. In this game, based on how much of a color is seen on a card. And, of course, the patterns kind of look crazy. And so it's an observation game and a bit of a guessing game. You're sort of looking at 2 cards and saying, well, I think this one shows more blue, even though it's scattered, than this one shows blue. I'm going to go after that one. And you're lining them up. Eventually you'll reveal these and see if you're right, score points. This game is basically one of those games that just about anybody can play. And it sounds way dumber than how engaging it turns out to be. I know it seems crazy.
I agree. When I first heard about this, I thought it sounded
like, oh, whatever, okay, you're colors and you're lining them up, how much of whatever. You play it and you go, okay, let's do another round. Because you want to challenge yourself. You want to see if your observation skills are there. That's a universal thing. Everybody loves to do that. I think this game really will go over well with just about everybody. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a neat concept. It's a neat little card game. Fantastic stocking stuffer if you're looking for something like that. Illusion, my number 9, really surprised me. I wasn't expecting it.
This was on my short list.
Yeah.
Really, really liked it.
All right.
Short list.
Is that your game? Short list? Shortbread?
Nope.
Shortening?
My number 9 is another zombie game. And this zombie game is, I saw the theme and I was like, oh, come on, man. Not the theme, but the IP that was connected to the theme. It's another Walking Dead game. And in the near past, Walking Dead, No Sanctuary is the game that I'm talking about right now. But in the past, there's been a lot of Walking Dead games because it's the most popular TV show in existence.
Also in the future, I can see it.
Right, yeah, it's probably going to happen. There's going to be more that come out. But there was even a Walking Dead-themed version of Bang the Dice game. Which, it played exactly the same, but the production quality wasn't there or anything like that. The artwork was the comic book artwork, which I don't dislike, but it's just not as good artwork as Bang the Dice game. But
I
anyway,
hope all the people on that cover survive the TV show. I hope they make
I'm
it.
just saying, if you change those people to have medieval outfits,
wow.
and you change the title from The Walking Dead
This guy.
to The Walking Bread,
Walking
and it was about
bread.
gathering grain and bacon, that's a boring
But
cover.
anyway, this is actually a game that incorporates the IP very well, and the mechanisms are good. It's a strong campaign game, or rather scenario-driven game. There's a lot of good things about it, and I was pleasantly surprised because when I saw The Walking Dead, unfortunately, I said, okay, just another cash-in, like you were saying earlier.
Woo!
And that's just...
I was waiting for someone to say that at some point.
He said it earlier. Why didn't you do it then?
It was
why
too
you gotta,
early.
Why you got to derail mine?
Ah! Cash grab!
Yeah, baby!
Anyway, my number 9. Walking Dead, No Sanctuary.
Walking Bread.
Okay, let's unload this back up. I shot it this morning, and my kids thought it was a great game. And my wife said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. My number 8.
Is the game only you try to grab as much cash as possible?
You shoot it, and then people grab cash, and there's cards in there that give you special abilities. The cards are actually paper money, too. Put this away. It's going to get overused. Okay, so
It was used once.
my
It
number
is now
8.
overused.
My number 8, no, I said before it gets overused. My number 8 was a game that I played. When I first heard about it, I thought, why does this exist?
Because, BAM! Money!
That's actually the reasoning for it. No, Sam and I think we all played it at the Gathering of Friends this year, and this is Ticket to Ride New York.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they told me about this, they was like, hey, we're going to play a Ticket to Ride game in 15 minutes. It's like, who asked for that? I feel like the game was already a short
Who
game.
asked for it? Days of Wonder. Ling, 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 ling. All right.
But it works really well. I was really impressed. It's a
It does.
15-minute Ticket to Ride. Well, probably 20 minutes, but still. It's a good little solid game that does not replace Ticket to Ride, but feels like
It's like a filler Ticket to
pocket
Ride.
Ticket to Ride, I guess.
Yeah.
So I like it. So my number 8, Ticket to Ride New York.
Pretty good. All right, my number 8 is a tile laying game that definitely came out of nowhere. Now seems to be the new hotness among those people who are looking for that sort of slightly deeper cut new hotness. This is Majolica, or Mahalika, or Mahahaha. I don't know how you say it.
It's
I say-
Majolica.
I say Majolica. And this game, of course, has the inevitable and unfortunate job of being compared to Azul.
It's not?
It's not Azul. It's a retheme of Azul. No, it's going to unfortunately have that comparison be thrusted upon it, and it might suffer because of it, considering that game has sold all of the copies. But this is a solid game too, and it's a thinkier game in some ways. It's one in which you want to try to set up. It's not about taking a lot of little turns, though you can certainly do that. You're trying to set up one massive turn, and that takes some serious logistics. It's pretty difficult to make that happen for you. It looks pretty good, just not Azul good. Again, it suffers from that comparison.
Well, you keep making it.
Well, they look alike, the covers look alike, it's about tiles, it's about making tile patterns. It's bad timing.
I saw it being played at the retreat last weekend, and it just looked whitewashed. There's too much white.
Yeah, okay. I think it looks pretty good, and the tiles have a neat finish on them. They kind of make them look like an actual ceramic tile. It's getting a lot of play. It's getting a lot of buzz, and it is a solid game. But again, it sort of came out of nowhere. It just showed up. I was like, I don't know what this is. Played it, really neat, and the buzz was just right there building up right around it. So Majolica, neat stuff. Hopefully it gets a little easier to find. And that's my number 8.
Majolica.
Majolica.
All of the vowels are long sounds. Majolica.
Okay.
Yes. My number 8.
Which zombie game are we talking about now?
Nope, not zombies.
Vikings.
Although, you do get rewards for dying. So, matter of fact, that's where all of your points come from. It's where all of your points come from.
Can't do Blood Rage again.
No, can't do that. But anyway, this one, the reason this is on my list, it's Valhalla. Go ahead and put it up there. It's a game called Valhalla. This actually passed.
You're like turning into the theme thing here.
Oh, what? No, just hold on. All right, so anyway, this actually passed funded in a Kickstarter in Poland, in some Poland Kickstarter website. I don't know exactly what. They had actually funded there first, and then they ran another Kickstarter to bring it over here to America, and it funded there as well. Well, in between those two Kickstarters, they sent me a copy. And when they sent me the copy, it was this is the best presentation of a game that I've ever received from anybody, anywhere. You open the bag and the box, and there was this, it was shredded cardboard to make it look like hay. And so you pull that back, and there's this letter that has like blood smears all over it, and it's written in the voice
That's
of
what I call the police.
of a fallen Viking warrior, saying that you now need to take the mantle and go forward in battle and all this other kind of stuff. You pull that, and it was just a really neat presentation. And so I was thinking, this isn't going to be a good game.
What?
Because no,
you just said it was a great presentation.
No, it is a good presentation,
They're
but I was
making up
like,
for a bad game with good presentation.
Fine.
that's right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is not going to be
But
good.
then you heard, oh, that's right, it's Vikings.
No. I knew it was
good.
Vikings.
It is good.
The name of the game is Valhalla, for crying out loud. But I was apprehensive because of how dramatic the presentation was.
Yes.
Played through it and loved it. Loved it. I love the mechanisms. They have a dice rolling thing where you are having to weaponize your Vikings with the kinds of weapons that they're looking for, and those are by rolling the dice. You can mitigate the dice rolling by playing other kinds of cards out of your hand that give you different things. You can boost your power by cards. There's a lot of hand management into it. There's also a lot of dice rolling, of course, but it has a really neat feel of a card game, and that's just the base game. They have so much that comes with the, I guess you could say, the deluxe version, but I believe it's the version that was available on Kickstarter anyway. Just modular expansion after modular expansion after modular expansion, and it was a really fun game, and I enjoyed it a lot. So it was a huge surprise. I was apprehensive, but very much enjoyed Valhalla, my number 8.
Cool. My number 7 is a surprise because I hadn't heard about the game until I saw advertisements on the windows at Gen Con, and this has become one of my favorite games. I think it would be number 11 or 12 of the year, and that's Hail Hydra.
Oh, cool.
Hail Hydra.
Jeez,
Oh, but
really?
I knew nothing about this
that
game.
much?
I do.
What's it like?
You guys both played it, you liars.
Come on,
What's it like to have that little taste?
You didn't like it? You thought it was okay,
I
right?
thought it was okay, yeah.
What did you think?
I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. One of my boys picked it up on the price table last week at the retreat.
You both liked it
I
a
was
lot
happy about
then?
it.
Well, I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot.
My first
Yeah, nothing if not a follower.
my first experience with this game is actually with the guy at Gen Con, at their booth at Gen Con, that was dressed up as Captain America, the Hydra version of Captain America.
Nerd.
And every time I walked by him, I was like, he goes, "Hail Hydra." I was like, that's not
Well, at least
right.
he didn't like hug you and in your ear go,
No, I didn't do that. But every time he walked by it, I was like,
creepy way.
He was like, "Hail Hydra," and I was like, "No, I can't say that. I can't say that." And every time I walked by, he like made eye contact, "Hail Hydra." You know, it was just funny.
Yeah, well, this one reminds me a little bit of what Sam said earlier about The Walking Dead, because when I saw the signs and I saw the box, and I was like, okay, this is a cash grab.
Sure, it's going to be
That
some lame
box
game.
looks amazing, though.
Hey, but you're figuring...
Don't do it.
Give me. I get to do it if you say it.
Oh, okay, that's true.
We got to clean it up every time you do it, though.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
Hey, Sam.
No.
Hail Hydra.
So anyway, I thought it
What kind
was
of game
this
was it?
cash grab type thing.
Yeah, baby!
You jammed it.
Ah!
Must
If
be-
it
must-
goes off, I'm going
Must be a Russian design.
Anyway, no, but the production is amazing. The theme is pretty well done, and I just like it as a deduction game. It came together really well. Really had a lot of fun playing it. So I was just surprised because I had heard there was like no lead-in. It wasn't until we got to
Showed
Gen Con
up.
and saw it on the thing.
Yeah.
So that's why it was a surprise. Hail Hydra.
All right, here you go. Here's some money.
Got it.
Thanks for plugging Hell Hydra. Checks for the mail. All right, my number 7 is one of the many tile-laying games that have been coming out lately. And this is one I had very little expectation for. I did not particularly like the designer's previous game, which was Sapiens, and that was also a domino tile-laying game, Fertility.
That's also the theme of the Vassals.
My goodness. Way to make it awkward.
Why would you say this?
You can see it on the iPad.
Oh yeah, is it those? The biggest surprise is founders of Gloomhaven selling online for less than $25 as a permanent price. That's not a surprise. I thought that game would drop down pretty quickly.
Really? That didn't nosedive? All right. Anyway, Fertility, tile-laying game. You are gathering resources. You are going to be basically triggering little scoring opportunities for yourself. The whole thing looks way more dense than it plays out.
Oh, it's super light.
Which is what I expected when I first saw it. I was like, oh, I don't know. It all looks like a mess. The tiles are a little overproduced, over-illustrated, I'll say. I didn't like the artwork too much on those because they obscure the scoring. In fact, there are sometimes you see a little gated, square that normally houses a scoring opportunity, but it's empty. You know what that is? Just artwork. I hate that. That's confusing. It's either a little symbol that looks like a scoring or nothing at all. Don't give me a space that looks like you misprinted it. I really don't like the look of the game very much, but it's a fantastic game and way simpler than I expected.
Game looks amazing. He's insane. That game looks really good.
Believe that was a clinical diagnosis.
Oh, hang on a second. I did it better then.
Go ahead.
You said you were going to do it better.
I can't do it. Just go.
You didn't do it better. Sorry. Wait,
Anyway,
Curly,
Fertility.
Curly wasn't crazy. Come on.
No, he was fine. My number 7. The game does not look awful. I'm not saying it does. I just said it had a couple of graphical issues.
Yeah, but you kind of went into like. Anyway, Chris says, love our content. We do good for the hobby. Shout out to my son Garrett, who watches your videos every day.
Gary?
Hello,
Garrett.
Garrett. Whoop whoop. Garrett in the house.
Do your homework so you can spell zombies.
How do you know he's not? He's still in school.
Everybody's got homework, man. How do you think Tom finds these fantastic outfits?
Go, Sam. Let's go. There's been a lot of.
All right, my number.
You're back over there next game.
My number 7. When it was announced with much pomp and circumstance at our live show at Gen Con last year.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a huge postcard. I mean, it's the one you were looking for from Restoration Games. And my surprise purely comes from this is nothing but nostalgia, and this is not going to be a good game at all. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be too much like the original.
Really? So you went into this with negative attitude?
Fireball Island, The Curse of Volcar. Yeah, I went into this not expecting anything at all because of its origins, really, more than anything. I don't mean. I mean it's way back origins, not Restoration Games. But man, this game is just fun in a box. It's just one of those kind of games where you have to do some thinking, you have to do some planning, you have to do some strategy, but it's on such a nebulous level that it's so fun, and that's the crowning achievement of this game. It takes something that was definitely nostalgia-driven, because I've heard many reports that the original game was absolute feces.
Not feces. Absolute feces.
Yes. Yes, there is a difference.
In my head, I have like a Tony Stark analyzer being held up to it going, 100% feces. Like, what? That's what I'm seeing in my head right now. What is going on?
But so when I actually got to play it, I wanted to play it again immediately, and that's how it really feels every time I play this game. That's how much fun it is. So my number 7, Fireball Island, The Curse of Volcar.
Good choice.
I agree.
You hater of fun.
For you, good choice.
Wow, that's super condescending.
Yeah, it is.
My number 6 is from Martin Wallace, who had a couple surprising games this year. I didn't play them one, but this one really surprised me. And that's Wildlands. from Osprey Games. I didn't know what to expect with Wildlands. I saw like combat, like generic fantasy again, but it's actually a little less generic than I thought. There's some, like you can see on there, there's like an owl mage. So that's new.
Owl mage?
I love it. So that's new. That is gold. All right.
Well, what I mean is, it wasn't like
I hear you.
set in stone, but it still toes that like. But
there's a dwarf with a monkey wrench.
He's fixing you. I will fix
There's definitely
this problem.
a guy that just got done with a game of Blood Bowl.
And
the
C3PO
orc with the football. And
oh yeah, why does that guy have a football? Anyway, this game is a blast to play. It's really light. It does. It takes ideas from. It reminds you of that game that Sam's always raving about. What's that World War II game you're always raving about with the
V Commandos?
No, with the line of sight thing.
Tannhäuser.
Yeah, Tannhäuser.
Tannhäuser.
It feels like that level of lightness. It's just this combat, really cool card game, back and forth. It's like Dungeon Twister, but not so long and complex. Fast, simple, fun. Great components. I really like it.
Dungeon Twister for dummies.
Yes, but it doesn't feel like it's a Wallace game, actually. I actually starting to think he does better at lighter games than he does at this complex
I've
ones.
always thought so. But then again, I
don't
never.
know. He does. I mean, just because we don't like it doesn't mean it's not good. I think he does
what
fine
not
with.
good means.
I think that should just be determined by anything time I say something.
Yes.
Well, yeah, right. But what I'm saying is that I think it's I think he's maybe rounded a corner, or
A happy corner.
yeah, or these are just old designs that he did before he started turning his sights on the heavier games.
Probably not. That would be a lot of light games lately. I mean.
No, I think that he's just better at light games. I think
Or maybe his
Except
maturity.
Brass. I know Brass is amazing. All hail Brass. I'm sorry. Penance to Brass. Brass is the best ever. I'm just getting tired every time I say something. What about Brass? It's amazing. I've not played it. Well, not the new one. I played the old one.
Yeah, I played the old
You're
one.
a poser.
You haven't played any of them.
So you're like a double poser.
But I didn't say it was amazing, did I?
I'm just go.
Brass is probably crap. My number 6 is a fantastic game with a weird theme, and I figured it would be garbage. Gingerbread House, which I just played. It just made the list.
What?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I thought, again, the theme, I first saw it and I was thinking, well, it's from Lookout, so that already I'm like, I probably won't like it. I don't tend to like their designs, their published designs. But this is way lighter than their usual games, and the theme not as stupid as I suspected.
What I love about the theme is there's like this super dark theme in the background.
Sure, yeah.
Like you have this house, people are coming by, all the fancy people come by and eating your house. They just walk by and eat your house. You're really annoyed, so you trap them, and that's where the story ends. But we all know what she was doing in the actual Hansel and Gretel. She was eating them.
Yeah, you eat them. Oh, except
Well, doesn't
Pinocchio, I turned them into toothpicks. I did. I need to clean my teeth after I consume meals made of other fantasy characters. It was great. It's a tile-laying game, very simple.
That's not in the game at all. Just as a
No. I mean, you can definitely play this with kids, but you might want to have a talk before it's just, well, you'll find.
There's nothing in the game. You're making it sound like there is.
There is not. There is nothing scary in the game unless you look for it. And then there is. But it's not there.
I'm sorry I brought that up.
I really like it. Simple tile stacking kind of game. Simple actions, collect sets, spend them to capture friends. And then spend time with them. Just hanging out.
Yeah, what you do is you make them play board games. That's what it is.
Right.
You eat my house,
Come
you get in here for a 3-hour Euro game. I'll never eat your house again, sir. The witch is running.
Not the gingerbread buttons.
Not my buttons. Not the gumdrop buttons.
My number 6, Gingerbread House.
All right. My number 6 is a game from PSC Games over in England. And when I first saw the cover, I was like, ooh.
Pretty simply complex.
Interesting. Plastic Soldier Company.
Got it. That makes more sense for you.
Then when I saw a game of it being played, I was like, that doesn't look good at all. It looks actually kind of boring. This is another Martin Wallace game, I believe, called Lincoln. And
It is Martin Wallace.
And again, he is knocking it out of the park with the simplicity right now, because this is probably one of my favorite epic level Civil War games that are out there. And that's kind of a cheat to say that, because most Civil War games that I've seen, at least, have always been like battle level, one side versus another in a certain battle.
This is the whole war?
Level. Yeah, this is the entire scope of the war. Even brings into the equation Europe's, the South trying to get Europe involved.
South will rise again, I believe.
So it is a great. It has, there is the Manassas hammer problem that people have talked about. I don't know anything about that.
Wait, he has another hammer? There was the Halifax hammer in his first game.
Now there's something, and I don't know what it is.
Don't find out. It makes the game more fun.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's just when you play a game over and over and over and over and over, you find one dominant strategy, but that's not how people usually play games. People usually play games once, and then they go play other games. And then, unless you're talking about a Dice Tower Retreat. Anyway.
Yeah, wait a minute. We're gonna.
I said usually.
I think we need to back up here.
Yeah, we said I played Blood Rage 4 times last weekend. I'm sorry. I may have a problem. And there was a possibility for a fifth, but I turned that one down.
What a jerk.
I know, I was bad. Anyway, Lincoln, I was very pleasantly surprised with it. I love the card play in it. The artwork is great on the cards. The game. The gameplay is very fun, and I like how it encompasses the entire conflict, not just one battle here and there. So that's my number 6, Lincoln.
All right, my number 5 is a crossover with Z's top 10 list, actually.
Oh, okay.
So this is a game that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
I thought, actually, this is 2 games from the same publisher in a row.
What was your last game?
Wildlands from Osprey Games. So the other one is Cryptid. When I saw this one, I was like, the cover was like, ooh, sea creature. And then I opened it up, and there was no sea creature in the box.
Yeah, it looks like it's
a bunch of blocks.
Deceptive. Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, fine, let's play this game. And I always know a game is great when, as soon as we're done, I was like, do it again. This is so good. Now, it's interesting to me because this seems to be divisive, not in whether people like it or not. Definitely getting that.
Right.
But with some people say the game seems really hard. Others say it's too easy.
Right.
Other people need to use deduction sheets. Some people don't. I find it interesting that there's such a wide swath there. I think it's medium deduction for me, but I love it because it's so exacting, and I'm sitting there listening to all the questions and figuring it out, and I can do it all in my head, which I like.
Well, it's all the information's on the board. It sticks around on the board.
Right.
I don't see the need for nodes again when you are looking at all the evidence that has compiled available to you all the time. Like, you don't remove anything,
Either way, I think it's really cool. I like that every solution is different.
Yeah. It's
and you just have different clues, and they work together, and it works really well with 3 players, which is a nice thing for a game to have. So Cryptid, my number 5.
Sweet. All right, my number 5 is one gorgeous game that I figured might just be gorgeous and not have a lot to back that up.
I think that about a lot of games.
Yeah, but in this one I was particularly worried because the artwork was superb, and it also seems to be just the only talk that came out of it. This is Everdell. Everdell is, as I said, has a really vibrant, sort of whimsical theme to it. In it, you are just sort of, hanging out with a cast of critters in the woods, and they all have a little, they're anthropomorphic animals, so they have little jobs and they have little buildings they live in. And you are collecting a tableau of these things, triggering different actions, and deploying workers to gather resources. That all sounds great, but it could also be a huge misfire. It could just be a really pretty game. But the game is solid. The game is really, really fun. It's a little bit like what?
I was just thinking, when you were talking about, it could just be a pretty game, but with not very much there. Tail Feathers. That's what come to mind.
Oh, Tail Feathers was certainly that. Yeah, and that was a sequel to something.
That was a very, very beautiful game, and it was just...
That went away quick.
It did.
In this one, all of the parts really do work well together. Now, it's got some overproduction issues. That tree seems to be the thing that everybody's like, why is that cardboard tree there? True. Does not need to be there. It's just overproduced for no good reason. But the gameplay is solid. It's a little bit like one of my favorites, Imperial Settlers, in the tableau building aspect. Some of the fonts a little tiny. Again, there are a couple of small issues there, but I really enjoy it. So Everdell, if you're looking for a tableau building worker placement combo with a cute, whimsical theme, Everdell is a solid pick. That's my number 5.
Okay. My number 5 is a card game in which you are basically going to be tapping this, tapping that, doing this combination, and hitting your opponent for that, and doing this and doing this. No, but it's from the same designer. It's called Keyforge.
Oh, Keyforge.
Called Keyforge.
I wouldn't call it little. Have you seen how much money is being spent on it?
No.
Hang on one second.
No, but I mean, it is just a little card game. I mean, you can just simply buy a deck.
Sure.
You can do that, and you can play with your specific, unique deck against somebody else's specific, unique deck, and it's a great little time. And I was, when I heard, first of all, I thought the whole unique deck thing was absolute gimmick. I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but absolute gimmick just to draw people in.
Yeah,
sure. It is, but it's a cool one. It's a good one. From Richard Garfield, the designer of Magic the Gathering, and I
also a gimmick.
Don't care about Magic the Gathering. It's just not my kind of game. I'm sorry. I know it's... Oh my goodness gracious. So, I mean, there were so many things that were turning me off from the game. When I actually played it, though, really enjoyed it. Had a great time playing it. It's very simple, yet it is very engaging. You do have to pay attention to the different combinations that are in your specific deck. Right. And there isn't a dictionary of words that I have to learn in order to play the game. It's just not there. So I like it. It's very fun. Enjoyed it a lot. It was a huge surprise for me. My number 5, Keyforge.
My number 4 is very new to the list. I just played it last week and then played it again because I loved it. But I didn't like it based on the name. The name is The King's Guild. Looks, I mean, at least the people are smiling on the cover, right? And it's a very bright color.
They're all looking at you, though.
I know. But they're like looking at me with happiness because they're going to eat me or something. But anyway, The King's Guild. It was bright and vibrant, so I was like, all right, I'll give this one a whirl and try it out. And this game is fantastic. It is like a upgraded Splendor. Splendor, if you played Splendor, you grab chips, you turn into chips for cards. That's the whole game.
Right.
In this game, you are grabbing resources, then using those resources to make items. You're basically running a shop that heroes come and get those swords, and then they go off on their quests. So you make this stuff for them, and then they bring you back something like, hey, I brought this back for you. You get some of this stuff.
Minotaur.
Nah, it's mostly just set collection and various point cards and things. But then you can also buy rooms and people who give you then special abilities on top of this. Okay. And it's really quick. I'll do this, I'll do this. I'll solve this, I'll do this. Really fast turns. I'm finding that's something I like a lot in games where your turns are really quick. Beautiful production. It's so much fun. I really, really like this one. The King's Guild. Great game.
Yeah, this one unfortunately is one of those games that's just going to fly under the radar because of that title, mainly.
I think it's the actual, I don't even think it's the box cover. I think it's the name.
Box looks all right, but the King's Guild, I don't think you could make it a whole lot more boring if you tried.
You could call it the boring King's Guild, but then I would be like, ooh, why are they saying boring?
That would be more captivating. I'm telling you. All right. My number 4 is a big game, an epic game, a massive game, an evil game. This is Massive Deep Madness. It's not Massive Darkness. It's Massive Deep Madness.
Oh, I don't like that cover. That's gross.
What are you talking about? That cover is fantastic.
You know what? If we were walking down the street and I was there when we drove from one city in Ohio to another city in Ohio on Dark Death Lane. And you
I
were like,
remember that.
And you were like, ah, and all there was cows.
I'd have my machete. That's the problem. If we're driving in my car, I'm perfectly content.
I'm saying, you're like, oh, that's cool, but if you saw it in real life, you'd be freaking out.
Yes, but that's the thing about board games, Tom. You see, they give you an escape from real life.
Madness.
Sometimes you just want to explore emotions without repercussion, you see. And Deep Madness allows you to get wailed on in some deep water facility in the ocean. You got no chance at winning. This game is incredibly punishing. But, you know, it allows me to...
Have you beaten it yet?
No!
Have you gotten close?
No! This game is a very robust, mechanically robust miniatures game. It's a dungeon crawler. You're moving around, you are smacking baddies, and you are, you know, completing whatever mission you have at hand. The tiles will flood, because again, you are in a deep mining, you know, underwater mining facility. The tiles flood. It takes you more actions to cross those. You have these monsters, just a relentless wave of them coming after you. But the station is normally big enough that they don't just show up where you are, that you can see them marching, and so the tension builds. And mechanically, as I said, really neat, in which you trigger one good guy, one bad guy, or a group of bad guys. And this continues to happen. It goes back and forth, and at the end of a round, the good guys cycle one. So whoever was first will now be last, which means when I went last time, a different group of bad guys will go after me. It really gives you it makes for a puzzly feeling. It's really, really an enjoyable mechanism. This is surprising because it was kind of in development hell for a while there. You know what I mean? It was one that...
Is that a pun?
Sure, why not?
Could be.
It seemed like it was having some troubles getting finished. I was worried that it would be a fumbled Kickstarter. I was very happy to see the game be finished, show up, and be solid. So, Deep Madness, my number 4.
Never played it. Wanted to.
It's in the other room.
Z doesn't like playing games.
It's underneath
That's
the
probably
ground.
true.
My number 4 is a surprise for me because I was not that enamored. Actually, I wasn't enamored at all with the ugliness that was its predecessor. Now, don't get me wrong. Its predecessor sold like hotcakes because you people are sheep. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with that. Azul, stained glass of Sintra. Azul, stained glass of Sintra is my number 4. I was not expecting to like this game at all.
You think the first one looks ugly?
Yeah, I don't like the color palette that it was used at all.
Oh, I wasn't blown away by it, but I didn't think it was ugly.
It's not just the game. I also don't like that style of mosaics. I've always thought that those kinds of things in buildings and whatever, they were ugly. So that's just me.
You're a monster.
That's just me. But the stained glass of Sintra was really fun, and it uses basically the same mechanism. It's not as ugly as its predecessor is. It's a lot more colorful, vibrant, I guess you could say. The other one uses pastels, and this one uses those translucent plastic pieces, which for me it just makes it
They're growing
different.
on me, those translucent pieces.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would like them at first when I saw them, but as I played the game, I'm liking them more.
Mm-hmm. The difference is in gameplay how the pieces, how you score with them, I guess, is the best way. That's the difference that really made me like it better than the original game as well. So I just really enjoyed it. I was not expecting to like it at all, and I came out of it really enjoying it. So that's my number 4, Azul, Stained Glass of Sintra.
That's a great game.
I'm really curious if we're going to have any crossover this time.
You already
We'll
had
find
one,
out.
I thought. Oh, no, well, with an old list.
That's what it was. All right, my number 3 was a game that I thought would not be good because it was based on an IP, which I loved, but I just assumed,
Walking Dead.
no, it's actually Choose Your Own Adventure, House of Danger.
Yeah.
All right? Because I loved these books as a kid. I thought they were fantastic. I read them as an adult, and I was like, wow, these are terrible. They're really bad. And so they're like, oh, they're making a game about it. And I was like, all right, that's another cash grab, type thing, the whole stop. Go ahead, you haven't done it yet.
Now it won't be done again.
That's why some of us are more fun to play with than others.
That's why some of us play Blood Rage 4 times in a row.
So anyhow,
And had fun every single time.
I thought that this would just be meh. So I remember when we tested it out, I was like, all right, let's just play through the first chapter. And it was slightly weird and cool. And I was like, all right, let's play through the second chapter. And then it just went through the roof.
Right, you did the whole
went
thing.
up to 11. And I just really liked it. It was very entertaining. I was expecting it to be stupid. And it was, but somehow they took the stupidness of the book and made it, it's still corny as all get out.
Yeah, corny would be the better word, not stupid.
Some of those books were not good, though. You would flip page and be like,
Well, they were so fantastical. I mean, and I
They
don't
were
mean
for
like
children. I mean,
yeah, but this, I know part of it's nostalgia. Sure.
this is like Fireball Island. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, I'm really happy with it. It just surprised me. Again, these are not necessarily in the order of which ones are my favorite, because Hail Hydra would have been higher, and so on.
Right, just how much it
But
surprised
it
you.
just surprised me a lot because I was really expecting it just not to be that good. But I like
And
it.
the other thing is the production quality of this game is not great. It says Z-Man on the cover, but it is...
Yeah, just a pile of cards,
And
essentially.
they're like real... I mean, it is low quality. The production here is very low quality, as opposed to Fireball Island.
I don't remember that. I don't.
Oh, yeah, I reviewed it, and they were definitely... I mean, after a couple of plays, the cards start to...
Oh.
The edges
Yeah, well,
are
we had
gone,
only
the
played.
cards are
We played the
super
very
thin.
first one, time.
It's not great.
So choose your own adventure, House of Danger.
My number 3 is a game that I was taught by Mr. Sam Healy. You might have heard of him, this guy who just loves Blood Rage. This is a small card game. Wasn't sure. I wasn't expecting anything out of it. It's called Walking in
I
Burano.
knew it.
Really?
And you know what? It doesn't suck. Anyway, my number 3.
Such glowing praise.
No, it's a fun game. It made me think a little bit of...
That's such a pretty cover.
It made me think a little bit of Palazzo from Reiner Knizia. It made me think a little bit of Alhambra. It's got this similar sort of build up buildings and find yourself good scoring opportunities. Very similar to those games. But it's such a tiny package. It's quick to play, vibrant. I enjoyed it a lot. It was neat. And it's a little whimsical also. So I like that in games, when a game can combine having sort of a silly, easy to get into theme with vibrant colors, a low barrier of entry for most people. You throw a lot of elves and goblins in there. A lot of people aren't familiar with that or interested. This is relatable, and I like that in games. Walking in Burano, I was very surprised. Good stuff. Nice card game. Emperor S4.
That's right.
Was that in your top 10?
Fire.
No.
Okay.
No,
All right,
but
continue.
it's really good. Really enjoyed it. Played it last week at the retreat. Taught.
You play something besides Blood Rage?
Played a lot of other things.
It was
other than
Walking in Blood Rage.
Walking in Blood Rage. Yes.
Blood Burano.
Blood Burano.
My number 3 is in that family of legacy games, and that's why this is on my surprise list, because quite frankly, I'm a little burnout on the whole legacy aspect of games. I really would like publishers to kind of cool off on that a little bit, because it started off really good with some really good games, and I'm being non-specific on purpose, but then it just kind of went down a very dark and samey path. And it just kind of stayed there for a while.
Hey,
and
kid, want to play a legacy game?
Exactly. That's what it seemed like. It's like, I got a legacy game over here. You want to come try it? But The Rise of Queensdale is one of those games that just kind of popped up, and we played it. And when we were playing it, it was like, okay, well, it's got the legacy aspect to it. Yeah, it feels a little bit like Charterstone, but it's better than Charterstone. Actually has a better story, I think, than Charterstone.
I guess.
It's almost the same.
I don't think Charterstone's story is great, but I mean, Queensdale's so far, the Queen is sick.
Yeah, but I mean, it's developing, and,
All right.
and it seems a little bit more interesting than.
There's a few more special
It
events that I think
looks
flesh out the world.
Yeah, in my opinion, it looks better than Charterstone. Now, Charterstone has a clean look to it, don't get me wrong, and it looks good, but I like this one better. And that's probably part of what's making it on my surprises list, because I did really enjoy the look of it. I am enjoying the gameplay of it as well. So, and this is one of those ones that we haven't got back to the table here recently, and I've actually asked for it because I want to continue in the game. I want to continue in the story. So it was a surprise for me because I was just done with legacy games at that point, and this one said, "Hey, no, don't quit on us." So my number 3, The Rise of Queensdale.
It's a British
I
legacy
really
game,
like
apparently.
this game. It wasn't on my surprises list because I like the designers a lot, and I was a little apprehensive about the legacy thing, but I figured they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I was highly anticipating
But
it.
I think it's a great game. I agree.
Okay, so I said that the top 10, none of these games are in the top 10, and that's true. But
Ish.
but this game would have made my top 10
Had you played?
had I played it we did that list. This game is easily on this particular top 10 surprises my favorite game. It was actually on my top 10 anticipated games of the year, but then I forgot about it when I got it. I thought it was something completely different, and I love this game now. Vindication. Like, oh my goodness, do I like this game.
That cover is
That cover's cool, man.
amazing.
I would put that cover on my wall. What are you talking about? That's an awesome
What
picture.
did I just say? I said this cover is amazing.
You said it in the Z Garcia troll, the sarcastic lying voice. Also, just
No, I was being legit.
in Vindication, you're a person who's a what do you call it? A wretched
Human.
scum of a human, or wretched scum, whatever.
Rebel.
And
scum.
and your goal is to vindicate yourself over the course of the game and score points. Here's the thing. I thought this was like some Ameritrash game going in.
Right.
It's a Euro game for sure.
This is the antithesis of Ameritrash.
It is, well, I wouldn't say it's the antithesis, but I think the theme works. The theme is strong.
Absolutely the antithesis.
It's fast. We're talking like a little over an hour once you know what you're doing. It's a pretty quick game. And there's so many different options. You build up an engine. I really love the theming of it. I like that there's different modules you can plug in. The production is like same as the Reckoners type of style production. It's really fantastic. It is.
Is it co-op?
No. Although there's a co-op version I think in there.
Okay.
But it's
It's got good game trays in it, but I don't know about. I mean, I guess
I like
I've
how
only
the
played
board,
it once. I didn't use any of the minis that come into it, but
Well, yeah, the minis are kind of
I don't
like just thrown in
You
as
get
extras.
to be evil?
No, you are
You're the good
turning
guy,
from
no,
evil to be
vindicating
good.
yourself, I know, but do you get to like
you can remain
wail on the
unvindicated.
Well, sure, right. You don't have to vindicate yourself if you want to lose.
you get to like fight back though, revenge.
Man, I'm just telling you, I liked everything about this. This game, probably my number 4 favorite game of the year, maybe even higher. That's how much I liked it.
Good
It is
night.
amazing. I can't wait to play it again. Vindication.
Can I play it?
I think you might like it, actually.
Well,
But
I'd
no.
like to find out. Okay. All right. Well, my number 2 is a game that looks like it was made not just for children, but possibly by children. These guys like to make fun of it a lot. The cover. The game is called Let's Make a Bus Route or a Route.
I've never made fun of that cover.
Come on
I
now.
have 100% made fun of that cover.
I have not.
And all the letters, like all the words, have a different color.
That's a song. Let's make a bus route.
Right. It looks,
Round and round, round
it looks
and round.
really like
That's not a song.
it looks like it's not going to be a great game. It does. Now, I like the company. Saashi and Saashi have made a few smaller games. This is their biggest, game actually, and they've all been great. They're solid little games. They know what they're doing over there. This one, the look was a little worrisome.
A little?
Yeah, a little bit. It always kind of cartoony, but this one was like really looked like it might be a kid's game. It's not. It's a roll and write. It's not a roll and write. It's a flip and write, whatever. And everybody's sharing the same board, and you can run into each other. You're basically, again, moving around on a bus, picking up workers, taking them to work, picking up kids, dropping them off at school, moving around the elderly in town. You are doing lots of different things, taking tourists to touristy destinations. But the really thing that elevates it, I would say, is you might have to cross a line that someone else already drew on the board in a dry erase marker. And if you do so, you are creating traffic. This is the negative thing in the game.
Oh, I already dislike you if you're creating traffic.
Yeah. No, it's horrible. Boo to you, I say. That's going to penalize you in the game. You have a few different scoring opportunities that you are managing, but the game is simple. It's quick. This is like a 25-minute, 30-minute game, but engaging. I really, really like this game. I considered this for my top 10 of the year. And this would have been like my, 12 or 13.
That may have been a surprise for you, but we would not have been surprised. We would have been like, typical Z.
Yeah? Okay.
It's a small little Japanese game, man. That's all you.
I like it.
I'm just glad that Roland's brother is starting to design games now, too.
Roland Wright?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Flippin'
Mr. Wright.
Flippin' Wright. That's a weird first name, though, Flippin'.
No, it's Flip N. His first name's Flip.
Flip N.
Flip
Yeah,
N. Wright.
Flip N. Right.
Mr. Flip N. The N stands for...
None of your business.
Nay.
All right, anyway, let's make a bus route. My number 2.
All right, my number 2 has already been mentioned by Mr. Z Garcia.
Oh, I got you, son. Hold up.
Nah, it's that Burano game.
No, it's not.
No, because you're not
Heroes of
surprised.
Dominaria.
Heroes of Dominaria is correct.
Oh, really?
What's what in your face, son?
Yeah. Again.
I accept that in my face.
For almost
Where's
the
that
same
gun?
reason for almost the same reason as Keyforge, I'm just not into the whole Magic the Gathering thing. And that little Heroescape version of Magic the Gathering that came out a couple years ago, I thought that this was like more of that, and I was like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I was like, I don't care about this at all. But hey, okay, let's go ahead and play it. And wow, is it fun. It is a really good game. It's really fun. There's a lot of different, like Z was saying, the whole resource management aspect of it doing it. And then when you reveal things, and it reveals more point tiers, I guess you could say, as you build those different elements into the game. Just a lot of fun. It does look a little anemic as far as the graphic design is concerned because it just has those circles all over the place. But
yeah, this ain't winning awards for graphic design.
But as far as the gameplay is concerned, it's very fun, and I really enjoy it a lot. So that's why it made my number 2. Completely surprised me because I was not going to like this game at all, just based upon what I knew about it. But after I played it, really enjoyed it. My number 2, Magic the Gathering: Heroes of Dominaria.
Fire.
Okay, my number 1, I listed these by order of surprises, and this one, when I found out that this game existed, blew my mind. It is a crossover with Samuel Healy.
What?
Oh, I know.
What?
Zombies. Axis and Allies and Zombies.
No.
He hasn't played that game.
It was on his list. I'm allowed to say it. Don't go, no, like he hasn't mentioned it.
No, but it wouldn't be my number 1.
You should go like that if I go, Rising Sun, because that wasn't on his list. Then you'd go,
You wanted
no.
Fireball Island to be.
No.
No, yeah, I
That's
wanted
not
Fireball
it.
Island.
I'm going to say Rise of Queensdale.
No, it's Keyforge.
Oh, okay.
When Keyforge, when they announced this, I don't care. When they announced this at...
Sheep. I, for one, do not welcome our key forging overlords.
Anyway,
I'm into it.
I'm
into it.
Z liked it too, anyway.
Gonna be.
My number, when I was at the Fantasy Flight and they announced this, we were just like, we didn't understand it. And there was like questions like, what do you mean every deck's going to be unique? Is that even like a possibility? It was really...
Yes. Just shove and buy it, nerds.
When they first put it on the
Next
screen,
question.
right, they showed this cover, Keyforge. They're like, this is our new big thing. And I was like, woohoo. It just looks like generic fantasy mixed to get mashed up together, weird stuff. I was like, this is what you're bragging about? And then they explained that unique thing, and we were kind of like, what about this? And they had a line of people, and anytime someone would ask something that wasn't about Keyforge, me and Rodney Smith were like, sit down, we don't care about... If this division of X-Wing is going to work in tournaments, I want to learn about Keyforge. And it's neat, and it works, which is really surprising. I mean, I'm sure as time goes by, we'll find out that there are decks that are better than others, and we'll find
there
out.
Are decks that are
right,
better
but I
than
mean,
others.
we'll find out does the chaining, how well does that work at putting them down? But just as a basic, grab a couple decks and play. It's a really solid game. That whole activate one of 3 things, that feels new.
And you always feel powerful in it.
Oh, I love that part of it,
You
too.
know, like nothing has a casting cost. So it's just like, I'm going to trigger 6 cards this round. That they managed to do that whole everything feels overpowered thing.
Especially when it's
And
your opponent.
therefore nothing is, right? They managed to pull that off. It's pretty surprising.
So why this is not necessarily my favorite game on this list, easily was the biggest surprise. They really surprised me with that. Not all the unique games this year have been amazing.
There's only
But
2, so
there's
you
only
must
2.
be speaking of the other one.
The one that you thought highly of.
I would like to discover some strategy in that game, maybe some choices.
So Keyforge, my number 1 surprise of 2018.
My number 1, any idea, Tom, what this might be? I made fun of it when it showed up.
Carpe diem.
Well, no, because I was going to say
Carpe Diem
Carpe
was
Diem.
my number 11 on my, would have been my number 11 on my top 100, top 10 of the year. But it's a felt. I wasn't that surprised it was going to be good. I mean, it's a felt. I expected it to be ugly, but be good. There's another Euro game that showed up, not by felt, some unknown name, even more boring looking than Carpe Diem, and it's a great game. Crown of Imara.
No, okay, first of all, lies. I agree Crown of Minar is a great game, but there's no way that looks worse than Carpe Diem. No way. Crown of Minar looks good.
I wish I had a pointer. Whoop! Let us take a look. Several birds that do not matter for the game.
Are you talking covers only?
Cover, yeah, the cover.
Because the game of Crown of Minar like blows Carpe Diem away.
No, you're right. You're right about that. I mean
All
the cover.
right.
I mean the cover. That's all I saw.
Doesn't Carpe Diem have like a largely brown cover with just like
It's
muted?
gray and 2 humans going, we're in a cover of a Euro game. Smile. Smile. And the other guy's like, but isn't this like Kalis kind of smile? It's like, no. We're past that.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, that cover, it looks worse.
This was on my short list too, because I thought, well, maybe it's good, and it was much better than I
It's
thought.
one of those games that I think, unfortunately, again, unless it develops some sort of buzz, is going to fly under the radar.
It was easily the most played game in our retreat last week.
I agree.
Easily.
Except for Blood Rage, mostly because of Sam.
I know.
In fact, every
was
time, at
asked
least once.
to play each of those games. I did not even come close to.
It was in the
suggesting
contract. Someone pull out Crown of Minar, and we'd be like, get Blood Rage back. we can't have one.
It's a really good resource management game, this Crown of Imara. I was very surprised. Really came out of nowhere, showed up with 0 fanfare, just across the board. This game just showed up. I mean, like, on people's radar. It just kind of was like, oh, have you heard about this? And now here it is.
That's
it's
true.
solid.
I heard nothing announced about this
Nothing,
game.
no buzz, no early buzz. Really was just surprised. It is a fun game, thinky, but quick turns, solid stuff. Yeah, it's got a boring theme. You're looking for a solid Euro game this year? I'd be remiss not to suggest this one. Yeah, Crown of Imara is good stuff. My number 1 surprise of the year.
Isabel, who normally makes insightful comments, says, Keyforge business model, buy a crappy deck, but get the option to pay $10 more. Whatever. I've enjoyed every Keyforge deck I've played.
Yeah, I don't.
They're not selling you bad decks. You just play the deck and fun time with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Almost
with that.
all the complaints I heard about Keyforge have come from people who haven't played it. Almost all of them. They're like, oh, I have to buy decks until I get a good one. No, you don't.
True. You do not at all. All right, my number 1 has already been mentioned by Mr. Basil.
What was it, Tom?
The only one on here that he likes. Because he made bad comments about all of them except 2. And I know he didn't play Wildlands. That might have made his list had he played it. And I don't think you would put Choose Your Adventure this high, so I'm going to go Hail Hydra.
Choose Your Own Adventure, Danger House of
What? Why? It wasn't my top 10.
You chose the wrong adventure,
I chose
baby.
poorly.
You flip the card, you die.
Well, here's the thing. I had not played Hail Hydra until we were up in Philly. That was the first time I played it, but I didn't think I would dislike it because it's Marvel. First of all, it's my favorite comic books universe, and then secondarily, it's social deduction, and I like social.
By the way,
deduction
he
games.
was Hydra. He was.
I was even Captain
America
America.
Hydra.
Yeah.
Oh, Hydra,
And he
baby.
actually
was that?
fooled me into thinking
But I was
That
probably
Z was
even
high.
right.
Actually, I probably didn't have to do much to fool you
Right,
into
that's the
thinking
problem. It's always like, oh, Tom just doesn't trust me.
Well, you didn't trust me.
Also in games.
Oh.
Choose Your Own Adventure, House of Danger. Just like Thomas said, when we first played this, we were like, okay, we'll try it out. We'll give it a whirl. Come on, we'll see how it is. And then we're like, well, okay, that was pretty fun. Let's try another chapter. And then we played through every single one of them. Bam, 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 bam. And it was just a lot of fun. And I was not expecting. I mean, literally, they were, hey, you want to try this out? And I was like, no.
That's true. I remember that. Sam was like, I guess.
Okay.
I was like, look, we're only going to play
Doesn't
the
look
first
like
chapter.
much. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
again,
doesn't. It doesn't. It looks like a book.
it looks like the books.
There's nothing wrong with books,
And
but
again, books have words. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but you know what? A good comparison to this game for me is to that other one we played this year. We played it live several times.
Monopoly.
No, the one where we read about the flowers and the mantles and
Legacy of Dragonholt.
Legacy of Dragonholt, right? Nothing against
Also
Legacy
a
of
good game.
Dragonholt, but this game is so much faster and things actually happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but
I
they
say,
don't
Dragonholt, you get
describe
there
food
eventually.
in this game, though.
That's true.
On the table, sit some apples.
I actually really enjoyed Legacy of Dragonholt. I thought it was a great world to be wrapped up in for a little while. So I enjoyed that one. But Choose Your Own Adventure, House of Danger was just really a lot of fun, and I was not expecting it at all. I actually was very apprehensively going into it. So really enjoyed it. My number one.
Good stuff.
Well, those are our top 10 surprises of the year. Now, as the year comes to an end over the next few weeks, we'll have a few more top 10s for you next week. I'll be doing some live ones. I think Jason's showing up to his top 10 live.
Top 10 stupid titles.
No, but I got top 10 expansions. I'll be talking about top 10 games components and things like that. I think you said you were doing some
doing
of
my
that
11
one.
through 20.
11 through 20. Oh, yeah, I'm doing my
10
top
games
100
with
of the year.
20% or less feces.
So not absolute feces.
Not absolute feces, no,
Just
but
hybrid.
like a 1/5 feces.
Yeah.
I think that I would just not
A
get
hint.
any of those. Like,
A hint of
if there's
feces.
if there's feces with
a-
any
just a
percentage
slight
number on
dusting.
it, like if
Slight
that number's over 0,
You're not gonna play that
I'm
game.
out. I feel like that's legit, right?
Just wash your hands afterwards.
Well, I mean, if you have a game that's been made with recycled components, there is probably a hint
A
of feces
little bit
in
of
there.
feces, like the remnants of feces.
We've hit rock
many
bottom
times have
here.
we
This-
said-
No,
this
it's not
is-
rock bottom.
Fecal bottom.
Fecal bottom. It's pretty soft.
We're done. I'm done. I grossed
I'm
myself out on that last one. I apologize.
Thanks so much for
very
watching,
cushy.
everybody. Tune in. I mean, we have more videos going up this week. I don't think there's anything. Oh, tomorrow is Dice Tower Tonight live. So that's tomorrow night.
Okay.
And then, of course, just various videos going up. Our top 5 video that we recorded at PAX, that will be being posted later this week also.
Right.
And then the Murph Brothers. Every day, something going on with those guys.
Except
today.
Except Thursday.
Yeah, there's one day in there that there's a break, but-
There's one today, one tomorrow, nothing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, I moved them around. There's no Murph Brothers today. It starts tomorrow.
No,
'cause
it
we're
starts
today.
today.
You'll see.
Today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Either way. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm confused, but Z Garcia.
I'm not confused. Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks.
I'm going to go for some tacos.
Tacos. Burritos. Burritos is where it's at.
Do you like burritos better than tacos?
Meal in a tube. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's foldier. Like, I mean, it's harder for you to
I like tacos
have
so
the
much
food
more.
fall out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't fall
Right.
out the back end.
It's a better delivery system.
Better delivery
Delivery
system.
You don't think so?
What about
I mean,
chalupas? Where do they fit in the mix?
Kenny, we got it, buddy. We know. The mics are on.